Hi guys, good morning. The time is currently 7:30, 7:25. And I've been awake since I think 1 a.m. Then like 4 o'clock, I started feeling contractions. You guys, this one is not cramps. Hi guys, Happy New Year. This is my first video this year, like my official sitting down talking video. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Fadekemi. If you're new here, welcome. Yes, so still on our pregnancy series, I promised to share the labor and delivery story, the supernatural labor and delivery story, and I'm just so excited to be here to share it. I have a little man here, yes. So if you're hearing any cuckoo and any is right here. So it's been about 1 month postpartum, and it's been a story. Okay, this is not even the video for sharing postpartum stress, but I mean, it's just something God told me the other day that, for every blessing, there's some problems you don't have because you don't have certain blessings. So while you may be like, oh, postpartum is tough, breastfeeding, uterus contraction, a whole lot, I'm going to share that in another video. I'm just thankful because it comes with a blessing of seeing the fruit. So at the end of the day, whatever blessing you have, be thankful for it and, the problems that are attached. That's a whole sermon on its own. So let me start from the beginning, right? So when I first got pregnant, I remember that I used to tell God that I wanted ease and speedy labor. And I just used to pray about it, put it in my prayer. And I think that one time the Holy Spirit challenged me to say, okay, what exactly do you want? And, listening to my pastors, they always tell me, be direct, be specific. So I was like, okay, let me, challenge. And I said, God, I want just 2 hours of labor. Let me just enter the labor room, 2 hours, I'm done. And it seemed far-reaching. I'm not going to lie. When I first said it, it seemed like 2 hours, really. Is that even possible? So don't worry if you're thinking big things, if you're having big dreams and it seems impossible, just first say it out and see what's going to happen. So I think that when I first said it, obviously, I wasn't totally like, I didn't totally believe it, but I kept saying it. I kept pronouncing it. I kept saying it. I kept pronouncing it. I kept saying it. I kept pronouncing it. And I don't know, along the line, I don't know when I started believing it. That's the thing about faith, right? So I kept just saying that 2 hours of labor, God, I trust you, 2 hours of labor. Like I specifically said 2 hours. And, I remember one night when I was praying, the Holy Spirit told me to write down pregnancy affirmations when I'll be having crazy thoughts about, losing my baby. Even if you're a second time, third time mom, the devil is not playing. He will still try, right? He still tried me, and I wrote down some pregnancy affirmations, which I'm going to share in another video. If you are interested, you're pregnant, you listen to it and you'll be blessed, right? Just pray along with it, affirm with it, confess it. They're confessions. I'm going to post it as a video on my YouTube here. First of all, I hope you've gotten your juice, your drink, all the things that you need, because this is going to be a very, lengthy video. So make sure you're comfortable, get popcorn, biscuits. Yes. So I remember that at 36 weeks pregnant, I went to the hospital one time, and the nurse that was doing like the checkup, she checked me and she's like, this baby is coming very, very soon in like 2 weeks. The baby's coming for Christmas rice. And I was like, Christmas rice, okay. Baby that's supposed to be January 4. The EDD was supposed to be January 4. And I was like, no, I'm not having a Christmas baby. Yeah. So I leave. By the next week, when I went to the hospital, the doctor I met, this was like 37, I think, no, like 38 weeks. Because I gave it on a Friday. So on Wednesday, I went for my normal antenatal. And then the doctor says, the way I'm looking at you. Okay, so I was having terrible cramps on like Tuesday, which was the day I filmed my hospital bag video. And then Wednesday, when I went to the hospital, the doctor is like, I told the doctor I was having cramps and everything. Then he checks my records and is like, I think you're going to have your baby very, very soon. So he asked me to lie down. He checks and he says, I think you're never going to come for next week antenatal. And I was like, I'm going to come, okay? My baby's not a Christmas baby. People should calm down. So after that, I left the hospital, I told my husband, told everybody, they're like, okay, let's see what happens this weekend. That weekend was Christmas weekend. Friday, 23rd of December, I wake up in the morning. Actually, that night, I didn't sleep. So I woke, I think I was doing some editing and all that. I remember that I tried to sleep as at, I think, 2 a.m. Then by 4 a.m., I wake up and I feel terrible contraction like pain. And I'm like, what is this pain? I started feeling contractions, you guys. This one is not cramps, it is contraction, because immediately I felt the pain. It brought back the rush of emotions that I felt when I had FG, my first son. So I was like, oh my God, I think the baby's coming. So I said, okay. So 4 o'clock, I started like monitoring it. As at 4:20, 4:30, I felt it. I checked the time because they said it has to be like, I think 10 minutes apart. I don't know the feeling because I don't know the test, because I didn't really have, I was induced in my last pregnancy. Like I was induced, so I was already in the hospital, so they checked and everything. But this one now, I don't want to go to the hospital on false contraction. So I'm trying to be very, very sure that it's actually contraction. But I know that the feeling I'm feeling, the pain, is very similar to what I felt when I was having contraction, actual contraction. So I have a feeling that it's actually contraction, but I'm still waiting it out. Now it's 7:30, so it's been 3 hours now that I felt the first contraction, and I'm still waiting it out. I felt more contractions after then, but I mean, they'll go, they'll come, they'll go, they'll come. It's not been so terrible yet. But I've had my bath. I took my bath, combed my hair, put on lip gloss. I'm wearing this jacket because I'm kind of feeling cold. I think there's harmattan. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait and see. Let's see. I think maybe the baby's actually gonna come today. Maybe not. I don't know. But I feel it strongly that it's gonna happen today. So I'm currently just I joined Next Level Prayers. I always join it. Today I just said, okay, let me just pray along. I've been reading this book, Safe Motherhood. Also, I'm just, getting in that spiritual atmosphere. I don't want to think about it too much, like, because the feeling can be overwhelming. You guys. So I'll update you guys on how it's going. Yeah, the baby's coming, you guys. Oh my God. Hi guys. So the time is 2 p.m. now, and I'm not yet at the hospital because my contractions they're not regular yet, and they're not like 5 minutes apart yet. They literally, I've just been like having like one in 1 hour, that kind of thing. But I can feel that the baby is coming, basically. Like I can just tell with my body and everything. I'm just so weak, tired. Oh, I didn't want to eat before. I just took bread, just some small bread and tea. But then at the moment I'm hungry, so I'm trying to get food to eat. Yeah guys, so that's the update so far. You guys, I even had to go and watch people's vlogs to be sure that everything is right. And I realized that there are people that, they start the process from in the morning, but before they go to the hospital it's like 10 p.m. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure that I'm going to the hospital not on false contractions. So we'll see how this video goes. If this is actually the day I'll give birth, we'll see. If it's tomorrow, if it's next week, we shall see. But I've been having contractions. I know what contractions feel like. I know that my doctors and even people have said it, like, you have to time your contractions, be sure that it is 5 minutes apart and it is regular. And I don't have that yet. I can still talk, I can still look at me, I'm still doing everything. So yeah, I'm waiting for it to become regular and 5 minutes apart and all of that. Then I will head on to the hospital, sorry. I look like a homeless person with this hair, and I don't tire. So contractions are getting tighter. I have one at the moment. Oh my god.
Oh my god, did you? Dear, I got. My name is following. And Baba, this you. So yes, I bet Bobby is tired eating. No, that's the chicken. Oh,
oh my god. Guys, we are going to the hospital now. I am now ready because I'm now feeling contraction pain. Like, even though I'm doing everything, in fact, my mom came to their house to see me, and then she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I think I'm having contraction pain." She's like, "You're strong, bro." Like, even me, I'm like, "Ogbogo fall me." That's the story. Because I was wondering how I was still able to walk around, do everything, but I knew that I was having contraction pain because I would feel it, then it would stop. I'll feel it would stop. But at like 5 p.m., my husband gets home and is like, "Yo, we have to go. Like, we can't risk it anymore." And there was traffic everywhere, literally everywhere. The road that leads to my hospital had terrible traffic. So I said, "Okay, let's go to the hospital." So we pack our bags and we go to the hospital. So when we got to the hospital, the doctors, when I told the nurse that I met at the reception, like, "Oh, I think the baby's coming," she was like, "Are you sure?" And then she said, "What did you see? Did you see mucus plug? Did you?" I was like, "I don't know. I just know I'm having contraction." So she says, "Okay, let's go see the doctor." Wants to make the video first. So she says, "Okay, let's go see the doctor." We go to the doctor. They schedule me to go to the doctor that is on ground. I go to the doctor. He now puts his hand. You guys know how they put their hand. He puts his hand and then he says, "Oh, you're 6 centimeters dilated." I was like, "I told you guys I was having this baby today." So I go outside, I tell my brother and my husband who followed me to the hospital with FJ. I was like, "You guys, I'm having the baby." So we bring down the bag. We take it upstairs to the hospital place, to the hospital ward. They give me a room. I set up. They give me clothes for what pregnant maternity ward clothes. Say hi. This is the bed. And then the journey began. 6 p.m. I started contracting more and more. 6 p.m. was when I got to the hospital, actually. I got to the hospital 6 p.m. Then I started contracting. I remember that the other nurse came, put her hand. She said, "It's not really 6 centimeters, it's 5 centimeters." And the first doctor actually said that before 10 p.m., your baby will come. I was like, okay. I mean, 10 p.m. is still great. I was glad. But then as the nurse put her hand, she was like, "Oh, you're 5 centimeters." I was like, "But the doctor said 6 centimeters." I was like, there's no difference between 5 and 6. It's just that we have to do our own due diligence. I'm like, okay, the devil will not discourage me. Whatever centimeter they like, I shall have this baby peacefully, easily, and simply in this hospital. So anyway, I decide, so I keep contracting. The nurse is there checking me, like, how many, so we start checking it, how many minutes, when it comes, when it stops. So after that, while I was contracting, then they now decide that, okay, the nurse now said she wants to clear the place. I was like, "What is clear?" She put her hand, started doing like this, doing like, I was like, "God, see, I can see the baby's head. Just let me clear the place." Oh my God, that was so painful. So she cleared the place. Next thing, I think they gave me oxytocin. I can't remember, but I know like I felt some kind of pain. The next thing, my water broke. That was when the journey now began. I think this was like 7:30, 7 o'clock. Then the water broke all everywhere. Then the nurse was like, "You know what? I want." Sorry. So then the nurse is like, "You know what? I want you to be very fast. I want us to just be done with this delivery, sharp. So what we're going to do, you're going to calm down and you're going to start squatting. I was like, I've never heard that one before in my life. Like, yeah, squatting, it will speed up the delivery process. I was like, oh my God, squatting care. So she tells me, calm down. And you know the nurses now, you have to listen to them. So I came down, I started squatting. Like I was literally like squatting, pregnant woman squatting. Then as meanwhile, my water has broken. Or my water already broke. And then so as I was squatting, water was dripping, blood was dripping, everything was dripping. I said, God, what's going on? I started squatting anyway. I was doing it. I was squatting. It was hard, you guys. I was in pain, but she told me squat. Then when the contraction comes, I'll stand. If you don't know, contraction pain is like period pain times 200. You hold your whole uterus like you freeze. But one thing I remember that I did was I was breathing in. I did that breathing technique that I didn't do when I was having FG. I didn't listen to the nurses. But this time around, I watched YouTube videos about breathing techniques and everything. So I tried to do that. Even while I was at home having the small contraction, I was doing. So I was doing that, and I thank God for that. Next thing I know, I feel a sharp pain. Next thing I know, I feel a sharp pain. And then it's like I want to poo. And that's the sign of the baby coming. When you start feeling like you want to poo, they'll say, don't poo, oh. Don't stress the baby's head, oh. So I knew that, okay. I said, I think the baby's coming because I want to poo. I could not even climb the bed because I was squatting. So to climb the bed, my knees were already in pain. I was weak. My knees were weak. So they had to help me on the bed. Then I started the pushing process. Please let me take care of this baby crying. He has eaten. I don't know why he's crying. You guys should not think I'm a bad mother. I fed him already. He wants me to play with him. So after they put me on the bed, they helped me up the bed because my knees were weak. They told me to push. I said, so it's time. I started pushing. Normal pushing. Push because I already had experience pushing. So obviously I already knew the right way to push. Not like before that. I was just screaming. Forget about Nollywood where they're always saying, ah, no. The scream is not the same. Pushing, you're pushing like you want to pull, not like something entered your head. I was now shouting, Jesus help me, Jesus help me. Even when they were saying push, we can see the baby's head, push. I was like, I am pushing, I am trying, right? But I kept asking God for strength. 8:24 or 8, I can't remember the exact day, but I know it was time. But I know it was 8:20 something that they told me. And 8:20 something, I pushed out the baby eventually with bruises down there. I had a tear, yeah, but we thank God. This is what it feels like to give birth. I don't born, no. Is God not faithful? My sister is here. Is God not faithful? Because I didn't know when she told me that she had given birth. I was like, ah, lol, are you kidding me? Who says lol? Okay. I could not film the whole vlogging because, man, you guys, childbirth is not for the weak. Even as people are saying, oh, you did it sharp. Now me know what in my eyes see. Oh God, you guys. Yes, we're done with this birth process. Thank you, Jesus. Go again. You and we'll go again. I remember when I told my husband. So I sent him a message. I was like, babe, Alpha, where are you? No, I called. I said, where are you? He said, Dad, how is the delivery going? Because he wasn't inside the room. And I was like, I've given birth. Like, are you joking? Like, yeah, I'm done. Even when I called my mom, she was like, what's it be more? Someone that saw me just earlier that day, right? So it was just so amazing. Even my neighbors, everybody that were like, but we saw you. But like, yeah, even the funny that same week, I went to work on Monday. I actually just started my leave, like, because they give you 2 weeks prior to your delivery date. So that was 38 weeks now. So I went to work on Monday. Wednesday, I started leave. Before you know, I gave it on Friday. So many people that saw me like, she didn't look heavy. She didn't look like she was giving birth soon. It was just the grace of God. Because people were looking at me like, oh, wow, I covered it. I'm like, yo, this song that came to my mind was, oh, go for me. Because, like, that's it. Like, there's not, like, I didn't do anything to have a smooth delivery. You can say, oh yeah, exercise, all of that. At the end of the day, it's still God's grace that saw me, Fadekemi through. I don't know about other people. And I thank God that God's grace used all those nurses, all those doctors, everyone there. I thank God that God used them for this delivery process. And I just pray that anyone that is trusting God for an easy, smooth delivery process, that the Lord is going to do it for you too. In Jesus' name. And that which you're seeking, the Lord will do for you in Jesus' name. So I hope that this video was really a blessing for you. And for me, it's just trust God, leave it to God. No matter the birth process, really, even if it's you use epidural, even if it's cesarean session, just thank God, because it's not easy. Okay, it's still the grace of God. The fact that you are seeing your baby, the pain that you're going through, you are seeing your baby. Thank God, because that's really the fruit of it. Because mothers are really trying, and you don't stop being a mother forever and ever. So let's just keep praying for our children, that even after all the suffering, all the pain that we go through to have them, that they will turn out well, they'll turn out according to God's plan for them, that we will have wisdom to train them. I hope this video has been a blessing for you. If it has, remember to share it to someone. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I'll see you in my next video.